Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, especially happy Thanksgiving to our subscribers. It's been an interesting month in markets so far. There's a lot of seeming risks that could hurt markets, but there's also a lot of positive going on in markets, particularly on the fundamental side, on the earnings side. So I want to talk a little bit about those risks and a little bit about earnings today on this Thanksgiving. Then I'm also going to go through our Black Friday sale, which I really encourage you to take advantage of. It's a good deal, and we've been on fire this year. So we want to help you prepare for the Santa Claus rally. And if you've been subscribing to us, you have a lot of trades that are going to help you do that, including the Broadcom and some other stocks. At Punk Rock Traders, we are short apocalyptic thinking, always, in almost every case. We like a nice Daniel Kahneman quote here to illustrate the value of optimism. An important thing to remember in markets, though, is that optimism pays. If you have been optimistic in markets these last few years, you're probably a lot wealthier than if you have been pessimistic. And that's an important truth to remember. That's also almost always true in markets. We have drawdowns, we have to deal with them, we have to prepare for them and insulate against them. But for the most part, staying in markets is going to be beneficial to you. All right, so one of the main risks facing markets after President Trump's tweets of universal tariffs against the three largest trading partners of the United States, this risk is a significant risk. And you can see there is consensus across the analytical spectrum that if these tariffs are allowed to go into effect, that they will be negative on the economy. You can see here there's some variance in the estimation. Obviously, if China retaliates in a trade war, then the effect on real GDP is going to be worse. I will point out that these tariff numbers actually do not include the recent tariffs announced by President Trump. These are just the ones he campaigned on against China. But the point of this chart is that tariffs are economically detrimental and they will force prices up. What you have to wonder, though, is if they will actually go into effect. And currently, markets seem skeptical of that fact. The market is clearly reading tariffs as a negotiating tactic, and it is not assuming that they will be implemented at this time. If they were, markets are forward-looking, and the tariffs could have a major negative effect on GDP. So I don't think markets would be near and at all-time highs if they took the tariffs threat seriously. You can already see within a couple days that Mexico and Canada are trying to engage with President-elect Trump to give to probably give some concessions in order to avoid these tariffs, particularly in North America. Given the enmeshment of our economy, these tariffs are not going to be advantageous to either party, and so they're most likely being used as a negotiating tactic. I don't think tariffs are going to be a big factor in markets in the next few months. I think we're looking at a seasonal rally. We have a lot of positive backdrop, and I think that once we start getting close to January 20th, when President-elect Trump assumes office, if there has not been material developments in negotiation between Canada and Mexico, and potentially China, although they seem to be taking a harder line right now, then markets may freak out. That's possible. But currently, we're net short volatility despite having one long position just in case. And we expect a volatility crush to continue. We expect a rally tomorrow on thin volume. One thing to keep in mind about the day after Thanksgiving is that it is thin volume. A lot of people are trading or in the office, and therefore it can be subject to big swings in either direction. If you recall back in, I think it was 2022, or 2021, I can't remember, but it was the Omicron wave, and when that happened, we had a big drop on Thanksgiving. So negative catalysts can affect the market on Thanksgiving, so that's why we got a VIX long position just in case. We're generally preparing for a robust Santa Claus rally and all-time highs in the tradition of the seasonal tailwinds that we're expecting. So that hasn't changed due to President Trump's recent invoking of tariffs. One of the things that we think the market will always be bound to is earnings. And we are, even though we're traders, we are very grounded in fundamental analysis at Punk Rock Traders. Now, as you can see, earnings estimates are increasing. And this is why I think 2025 is going to be an especially bullish year for the stock market. We have double-digit earnings growth expected throughout 2025. The consumer remains resilient, except for at Target. That's a joke. I think that Target kind of tried to throw the consumer under the bus in defense of a bad management strategy. So I just put that in there. Ceasefire in the Middle East just happened, and the potential for a negotiated end to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. These are positives. A deregulatory environment and declining tax rates for corporates are positive. PCE was in line with estimates. And as you can see, earnings growth is expected to take off and really accelerate throughout 2025. That's very bullish. And we'll talk a lot more about this in our 2025 annual outlook. But it's going to be hard for the market to go down unless there's a recession, in my opinion, given the strength of the anticipated earnings growth. You could see here where so far in the earnings season, it's almost over. We have a few reports left, and we have a few options on some of the companies that have reports in early December. So be sure to check out those trades if you haven't. You have comm services with 95% beating. Healthcare is doing very well. Technology, of course. One of the big surprises is financials, and financials is expected to account for the largest portion of earnings growth next quarter. We'll be giving a lot of good financials picks in our annual report. So I'm very optimistic about my ability to identify banks that will outperform their peers based on some of my career in the past. And so I'm looking forward to giving you that banking stock list. Be sure to check out our Black Friday sale. You can save 20%. If you're already a monthly subscriber, you can upgrade to annual and save a lot of money. So just do me a favor and check it out. We'd love to have you as a subscriber if you're not already. And we're very much looking forward to the trades that we've given out being very positive for this Santa Claus rally. We think we've prepared you better than almost any of our peers for what should be a very fortuitous season in the stock market. Remember, optimism is at the core of our strategy. We short apocalyptic thinking. Human beings are always imagining what can go wrong. It's important to imagine what can go right as well. And that's also a positive Thanksgiving message. So I'll end it there and say happy Thanksgiving to all our subscribers and watchers. Have a great day.